So now we're over here with Kino Flo. I'm here with Frater. He is the founder of the company. Kino has consistently been some of my favorite lighting fixtures, not to mention one of my favorite companies. I have a lot of reviews of the FreeStyle that I just bought, or the Celeb that I just bought coming, but he's going to walk us through kind of the new stuff they have here, which is very exciting. So what do we got?
First of all, thank you for coming down.
Of course.
We are introducing here at Cine Gear 2022, post-COVID. Wow, we're still kind of in it. But anyway, first time we can see each other in real.
Yeah.
So this is the FreeStyle Air. Right now there are two sizes. It's a very narrow, lightweight panel.
Yeah.
We wanted to have a lightweight panel, but we didn't want to do what everyone else is doing. And one of the complaints about existing panels is serviceability. This is a very rigid, lightweight panel that allows us to remove the upper rail. We can pull the platens out. We can easily do surface repair to the LEDs.
Okay.
It's also easily riggable. We have these corners allow for a 4-point rope hang or hemp. And just in general, the lightweight nature of it uses all the same accessories. Here, we can take it off.
Yeah. Very light.
Yeah. So it's, again, as an accessory to the existing FreeStyle line, the FreeStyle has a broad range of products that already drive on it. And we've got a lot of customers that have the product. So you can do panels, the 21, the 31, the 41. You can do tubes, and now this lightweight panel. So especially for rental houses or customers that have a large number of the product already, now you can accessorize, and now you have this lightweight panel. So there's two sizes right now. This is more like a 4-bank, and this is more like our Image 80. So in terms of size. Accessories, we'll be introducing accessories in the very, very near future. Existing accessories that are already on the market will fit onto this, but you'll also be able to get some Kino Flo accessories such as louvers, soft boxes, that kind of thing. So for us, this is it's a big deal. The response at the show has been very positive. The FreeStyle system has also the camera profile, so you really take advantage of the entire colorimetry that Kino Flo has been working on over all these years.
I would love for you to kind of talk about that, because I think there's a lot of technology in the Kino Flo LEDs that people don't know, such as the camera LUTs.
Yeah. So what was important to us, again, it's trying to understand what the camera sees. It's easy enough to say, I have a light that is 3200K, but because LEDs by their very nature are a discontinuous spectrum, it becomes even more challenging when you look at the different cameras, which all have different spectral response curves. So one of the things we did to try to narrow that gap is to say, we're going to put in a camera profile of the 4 major cinema cameras that are there. There's a lot of work to get those profiles. If it was easy, I'd put every camera that we know to put it in there. And it becomes especially critical in the warm tones. So one of the first guys to use the camera profiles was John Schwartzman, ASC. He did it on an Emma Thompson picture in the UK, where all the lights that are on the Talent were all harmonized, number one, to the DXL, the Panavision DXL. So there was very good consistency between first of all, the different units. It was totally consistent.
Right.
But in the sit, you can't just light everything with the Kinos. And especially when you have a rental house that has a lot of other lights that they want to use. So he said, we can make that work. From his perspective, keeping everything Kino on the faces. So he said, Kinos for faces, that other stuff for places. And the other place was on the backing, through windows, through sheer. And so you essentially create 2 zones of light. And so even from an aesthetic, you can accept that the light coming through a door, through a window, is going to be a slightly different tonality than what you're experiencing on the interiors. Yeah. So that worked seamlessly. And the colorist noticed it immediately, looking at the dailies going, what do you want me to do with this? Usually it's yes, or immediately looking at, whoa, there's some green coming from that direction. I'm going to have to float something in and try to pull the green out. I mean, it gets to be a very complex challenge. So in this case, I think these profiles add another layer of control, and also from an artistic perspective, they give you, the end user, more control over what that image looks like.
Yeah. And how were you guys able, because you're a little late to the LED game, all things considered.
Yeah.
But I assume that time was spent in R&D based on the fact that these lights are so accurate.
Well, this is the thing. We could easily enough have jumped in and produced LEDs for the sake of an LED. Yet there was an expectation from the market, from our key clients, who said, well, when are you going to do something? He says, well, we're working on it, but I'm not going to give you something that's not at least as good as the existing Kino Flows. And to this date, still, I will stand by a fluorescent in terms of its spectral quality over an LED, because it's a full spectrum.
Yeah.
I mean, we're close to it, and we've been able to bridge some of those anomalies by actually understanding what the camera sees. So the colorimetry we've put into this is with a full understanding of what the camera, how the camera actually sees the light. So that was key. So we had to figure that out. Otherwise, we had stuff out way before that I never took to market because I just felt it wasn't up to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're into the market when we were, but it was with a quality product, and that was what was important.
I 100% agree, and I did have a hard time trading in the fluorescence for the Celeb, but the flexibility of the Celebs is just insane. You know, the XY coordinates for anything, greatest. I mean, it's not you guys just doing XY, but like, there are some. I reviewed another different company. XY wasn't accurate. Didn't sit on the planking curve. It was elsewhere. It used color, and that was very frustrating.
Yeah. Again, it takes a certain understanding. It's not just what the eye perceives, which is what most people understand to a certain degree. Once you introduce the camera element, that's a whole new game.
Yeah.
And the trick is to try to harmonize what's good for the eye to what's good on the camera. And for example, I did a color science lecture to the Society of Television Lighting Directors in the UK. And their biggest challenge, they said, is going into Royal Albert, trying to record a stage production, and realizing that most of the lights that are on there are out of gamut for the camera. So they end up having to rehang a large portion of the show so it looks good on camera and still good to the audience viewing it. So this is one of the beauties of our merger now with the Chauvet Lighting out of Florida, that they come from the theater live event market, and so they have a lot of the basic technology there, and we're going to be introducing our color science into those fixtures. So now we'll be able to offer a broad spectrum ellipsoidal product line. We'll be able to offer Fresnel. We'll be able to offer moving heads, that kind of thing, where you don't have to worry about the colors being out of gamut, not reading correctly on camera. So to me, this is like the most perfect union that we could think of.
Absolutely. And did you say you were you had something else you wanted to show us?
No, this was basically the newest. There is over on the other side we have
we can go look at it.
we have the Chauvet people are there with the. Let me see.
I've done this before. I just need you to hold. There we go. And look how easy that is.
Yeah. So the Chauvet group has two of their, three of their other products. One is a moving head unit called the Silence. The other was Camsys lighting discs. Very innovative, very user-friendly. So we're seeing a lot of board operators are starting to understand the advantages of a Camsys board over some of the existing product. And the other one is they have a Rev 3 ellipsoidal, which will be converted. Right now, it's still the standard product, but it's an indicator of where we're going as a company.
Sure.
So it's very exciting.
Yeah. And you said these FreeStyles can power.
Broad range.
These ballasts can power.
So in fact, what you see, the entire booth here is all FreeStyle.
Yeah.
So all the units you see here burning right now operate on the FreeStyle system, and this can be accessorized to operate on any of those ballasts. So battery operability. This is all high frequency, flicker free. We can actually, if you're shooting high speed, we can actually change the frequency, the output frequency. We normally operate around 30 kilohertz. We can go up to 300 kilohertz. So that's 300,000 hertz. I mean, it's crazy. So again, it's trying to respond to market challenges. And if we know about it and we can address it through software, we'll fix it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah. And you guys do firmware updates all the time.
Yeah.
Which I love to see in a company that continues to progress the product you've already bought versus come here, buy a new product from us.
Yeah, and this was the first thing that freaked everybody out. When we first introduced it, we only had the white menu, and then we put an extended white color menu in it. And so when the people who had bought the first generation, when they walked by and saw colors, they all came at us with a somewhat negative attitude saying, how could you do that? How could you now introduce color? And we go, it's a software update. It's like, okay, all right. You're no longer a zero, now you're a hero.
Yeah,
so this was really important to us.
Awesome. Well, it's great to see this out. Great to see you, man. And thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers.